He found me crying in the storage room behind towers of printer paper, and instead of backing away or offering empty comfort, he just stood there and said, "The first breakdown is always the hardest." I'd been hiding in the supply closet at Premiere Creative for 20 minutes, trying to pull myself together after what could only be described as the worst morning of my professional life. My boss had just torn apart 3 weeks of work in front of the entire team. My computer had crashed and eaten a presentation I'd been working on until 2 a.m., and to top it all off, I'd spilled coffee all over myself during the client meeting that was supposed to be my chance to prove I belonged here. When the door opened and I looked up through my tears to see a tall man in his early 40s standing in the doorway, my first thought was that this day literally could not get any worse. Before I continue this, hit that subscribe button. I post one real story every single day. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I'm always curious who my stories are reaching. "I'm sorry," I said, frantically wiping my eyes with the back of my hand. "I know employees aren't supposed to be in here. I just needed a minute to." "You don't have to explain," he said, stepping into the small room and closing the door behind him. "And you don't have to stop crying on my account." He was handsome in a quiet, understated way that suggested he'd earned his confidence through experience rather than genetics. Dark hair with just enough silver at the temples to make him look distinguished, intelligent brown eyes, and the kind of presence that filled a room without trying. He was wearing an expensive-looking navy suit that fit him perfectly, and everything about him screamed success and authority. "I don't think we've met," I said, trying to compose myself. "I'm Riley. I'm an intern here." "I know who you are," he said. "I'm James. James Morrison. I'm visiting my brother today." Morrison. As in David Morrison, the CEO who'd hired me 3 months ago and whose approval I'd been desperately trying to earn ever since. "Oh God," I said, fresh tears springing to my eyes. "Your brother is going to fire me. I've been a complete disaster today, and now his brother finds me having a breakdown in the supply closet." "Why would he fire you?" "Because I'm clearly not cut out for this job. Because I can't handle the pressure. Because I'm 25 years old and I have no idea what I'm doing." James was quiet for a moment, studying my face with an intensity that should have been uncomfortable, but somehow wasn't. "Can I tell you something?" he said finally. "Sure." 8 years ago, I had a panic attack in a bathroom stall during the most important board meeting of my career. I was 34, I was supposed to be presenting a merger proposal that would make or break my company, and I completely fell apart. What happened? I called in sick, went home, and spent 3 days in bed wondering if I was cut out for business at all. And I realized that the pressure I was feeling wasn't about the job. It was about trying to be perfect instead of just being good at what I do. I looked at this man who was sharing something deeply personal with a complete stranger, and I felt something shift in my chest. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you looked like someone who needed to know that falling apart doesn't mean you're weak. It means you care enough about succeeding that the stakes feel overwhelming." "I do care. Maybe too much." "There's no such thing as caring too much. There's only caring in ways that aren't sustainable." James moved closer, not crowding me but close enough that I could smell his cologne, something clean and expensive that made me suddenly very aware of how disheveled I must look. "Riley, can I ask you something?" "Okay. What happened today that made you feel like you needed to hide in here?" I felt fresh tears welling up in my eyes. "Everything. My boss, your brother, he completely destroyed a campaign I'd been working on for weeks. In front of everyone. He said it was amateurish and showed a fundamental misunderstanding of our clients' needs." "That sounds harsh." "It was honest. The work was probably terrible. I thought I was finally getting the hang of things here." "What kind of campaign was it?" "Social media strategy for a sustainable fashion brand. I spent weeks researching their target demographic, analyzing their competitors, trying to find an angle that would set them apart." "And David didn't like your approach?" "He said it was too focused on the product and not enough on the lifestyle. That I was trying to sell clothes instead of selling a feeling." James was quiet for a moment, and I saw something flicker across his face that I couldn't read. "Riley, can I tell you something about my brother?" "Sure." "He's brilliant at what he does, but he has a tendency to tear things down completely before he explains how to build them back up better." "Are you defending him or warning me?" "Both." David pushes people because he sees potential in them. If he thought you were hopeless, he would have just smiled and moved on. That's supposed to make me feel better? It's supposed to help you understand that his criticism might be an invitation to do better, not a declaration that you can't. I wiped my eyes again, trying to process what James was telling me. You don't even know me. Why do you care whether I succeed here or not? James looked at me directly, and I felt something electric pass between us. Because in the 5 minutes we've been talking, you've shown more genuine passion for your work than most people show in years. Because you're sitting in a supply closet crying over a failed presentation instead of making excuses or blaming other people. Maybe I should be making excuses. Maybe it would be easier. Easier isn't always better, says the successful businessman who probably hasn't failed at anything in years. James laughed, and the sound was unexpected and warm. Riley, I've failed at more things than you've probably attempted. The difference is that I've learned to see failure as information instead of judgment. What do you mean? I mean that your campaign didn't fail because you're not good enough. It failed because you don't have enough information yet about what works and what doesn't. And how do I get that information? By asking questions. By watching how the successful campaigns work. By finding a mentor who can help you understand the difference between selling a product and selling a feeling. I looked at him, at the way he was talking to me like my problems mattered, like my success was something worth investing in. James, can I ask you something? Anything. What do you do? For work, I mean. I own a consulting firm that helps companies develop their brand identity and market positioning. My heart skipped a beat. So you do exactly what I'm trying to learn how to do. More or less. And you're David's brother, which means you probably know everything about how this industry works. I know some things. I felt something click into place, a possibility I hadn't considered before. Would you? I started, then stopped, realizing how presumptuous I was about to sound. Would I what? Would you be willing to look at my campaign? Not to fix it, but to help me understand where I went wrong. James was quiet for a moment, and I watched him consider the request. Riley, I need to tell you something. What? If I help you with your work, it can't be because I'm attracted to you. The words hit me like a physical blow, partly because they were so direct, and partly because they acknowledged something I'd been trying not to think about. You're attracted to me? I'm attracted to your mind, your passion, your willingness to care about things that matter. He paused. I'm also attracted to you as a person, which is why I need to be very careful about how I help you. What would you do if you were in my place? Tell me in the comments. I stared at this man who had just made everything infinitely more complicated, and I realized that the flutter in my stomach wasn't just from professional excitement. James, I'm 25. I'm aware of that. And you're, what, 42? 43. And you're my boss's brother. Also true. This is probably the worst possible situation for both of us. Probably. I looked at him, at the way he was being completely honest about the complications instead of trying to minimize them or pretend they didn't exist. So what do? We focus on your work first. We figure out how to help you succeed in this job, and we deal with everything else after you're not in a position where I could be seen as taking advantage of a power imbalance. And if there isn't everything else to deal with, then we'll deal with it when you're established in your career and confident in your abilities. That could take months. Good relationships are worth waiting for. The certainty in his voice made my heart race. James, what if I don't want to wait months to figure out if what I'm feeling right now is real? What are you feeling right now? Like I've been waiting my entire professional life to meet someone who understands that work can be about more than just paying bills. Like you see something in me that I'm still learning to see in myself. And like the fact that you're willing to wait, willing to put my career first, makes me more attracted to you than any grand gesture could. James stepped closer, close enough that I could see the flecks of gold in his brown eyes. Can I tell you what I see when I look at you? He asked quietly. What? I see someone who cares so deeply about doing good work that she's willing to hide in a supply closet and have a breakdown rather than give up. I see someone who asks the right questions and listens to the answers even when they're hard to hear. That's not how I feel most of the time. How do you feel most of the time? Like I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. Like everyone else got a manual for how to be a successful professional adult, and I'm just making it up as I go along. Riley, can I tell you a secret? Okay. Everyone is making it up as they go along. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't that some people have it all figured out. It's that some people are willing to keep trying even when they feel lost. Is that what you did? When you had your breakdown? That's exactly what I did. I went home, felt sorry for myself for 3 days, and then I called my mentor and asked him to help me understand what had gone wrong. You had a mentor? Still do. Jonathan Hartley. He's the one who taught me that the most important skill in business isn't knowing all the answers, it's knowing how to find them. And he helped you through that difficult time? He saved my career. Maybe my life. He taught me that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence. I looked at James with new understanding. Is that what you're offering me? To be my mentor? I'm offering to help you learn what I know about this industry. But Riley, I need you to understand something. Riley, if we do this, if we explore whatever this is between us, I need you to promise me something. What? Promise me that you won't let anyone, including my brother, make you feel like your success is dependent on your relationship with me. How can I promise that when I don't even know if I'm good at this job yet? Because you are good at this job. You just need to learn to trust your instincts instead of second-guessing everything you do. How do you know that? Because in the 20 minutes we've been talking, you've shown more strategic thinking and self-awareness than most people show in months of meetings. I felt tears starting again, but this time they weren't from frustration. No one's ever talked to me like that before. Like my thoughts actually matter. Then you've been spending time with the wrong people. Maybe I have. James reached up and touched my face, his thumb brushing away a tear I didn't realize had fallen. Riley, I want to help you with your campaign. I want to teach you everything I know about this industry. And when you're ready, when you're confident in your own abilities, I want to take you to dinner and see if what we're feeling right now translates into something real. What if it doesn't? Then you'll have learned a lot about marketing, and I'll have had the pleasure of watching someone I care about succeed. And if it does? Then we'll figure out how to navigate a relationship between two people who understand that good work and real love both require patience and commitment. I looked at this man who had somehow turned the worst day of my professional life into a moment of unexpected possibility, and I realized that everything I thought I knew about what I wanted was about to change. Okay, I said. Okay. Help me with my campaign. Teach me what you know. And James? Yeah. Thank you for not running away when you found me crying in a supply closet. Thank you for giving me a reason to stay. 6 months later, my revised campaign for the sustainable fashion brand won 3 industry awards and landed me a promotion to junior account executive. James consulted on the project remotely, never meeting with me at the office, always maintaining professional boundaries until I was established enough in my role that our relationship couldn't be seen as anything other than 2 adults choosing each other. Our first official date was dinner at a small restaurant in Santa Monica, where we talked about everything except work for 3 hours and discovered that the connection we'd felt in that supply closet was just the beginning of something much deeper. Before I go, thank you. These stories are real. They're mine. And I share one every day. If you want to hear more, subscribe. People still comment on how we met, on the age difference, on the complexity of falling for someone connected to my workplace. But James teaches me not to apologize for love that grows from mutual respect and shared values. And every time I face a professional challenge, I remember that the best relationships begin when someone sees you at your most vulnerable and chooses to stay, not to fix you, but to believe in your ability to fix yourself.